Pleasant Prairie didn't have one property listed for sale. Now, maybe they didn't make it to the clerk's office through the county, I don't know, but that's nothing considered. And the list of property sales is very small. The country's a little different problem. And that, at some point in time, is going to affect this village. And I think we have to take that into consideration when we start considering what we want to spend money on and for what reason. We have a developer here tonight that's going to ask for another extension. I'm sure we're going to get more of those in the future. Hopefully soon this will straighten out and the economy gets back. But right now, before we start spending money for special interests, it's not a good idea. I don't think one board member, including Mike, super trustee, would object to broadcasting these meetings if we had the money to do so. I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yes.
But there's too many other needs that have to be satisfied before that.
I agree with you. Mike, I appreciate the time you expended on this. We answered the question, we've done this over and over. That's our house meetings over and over. This is a non-budget item. Your job feels really a lot for this village. I know what your schedule is. I know what you're working on. And as you like, as things that actually are of urgent importance. The economy, not only of this village, this community, this state, hinge on a lot of what we're doing here in the village. The utilities, the power plant, the revenues. Your schedule is non-stop meetings and meeting with people. Sometimes it upsets me a little bit when some folks say, he didn't get back to me right away after this. I don't know how much time they think you have in a day. I know it's nice when you can sit around and watch TV all during the day like some folks and see what's on Channel 25 or the Cartoon Channel. But I know your job is a lot more important than that. What you accomplish is a lot more important. A lot of challenges here in the village. And you stay ahead of them. I don't know how many hours they want you to work, or maybe you can work all through the night. You know, we do that in Madison. That seems to work for us. That's a great thing to do. Work until 3:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Not the most productive. I appreciate what you do, and I hope you continue to focus your energy and time on matters that are really important to the taxpayers of this village. Thank you. Mike.
Nice comments, John. Mike, I guess I kind of delayed some of your work by coming in on Sunday, taking up your time, but to answer questions with a great report. I appreciate how much material was really in there. I really do. With that, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file.
Motion by Clyde, second by Steve. Any other discussion on this item? Hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carries. That brings us back to the original part of the agenda, item B. Thank you, Ruth, for staying around. I know if we have a technical question, you're the go-to person. Item B is to receive the Planning Commission recommendation, consider resolution number 0808. This is to support the amendments to the Village Comprehensive Land Use Plan related to governmental and institutional land use designations.
Mr. President, I would ask item C be taken up at the same time so I can make one presentation for both items B and C.
Okay. Board concurs.
And item C is the consideration of ordinance number 08-11 through ordinance 08-14 to amend section 42126. And this is relating to I-1 institutional district regulations and to amend 420-128 relating to additional uses and to consider several zoning map amendments. Mr. President, members of the board, on January 22nd, 2007, the Plan Commission adopted the Plan Commission Resolution 07-03 to initiate review of the I-1 institutional district, which may also include amendments to other sections of village zoning ordinance, such as the conditional use sections, as well as definitions and other amendments to the village official zoning map. In addition to reviewing the institutional district requirements and the maps The staff also looked at the zoning maps in compliance with smart growth regulations and to provide that consistency between the comprehensive plan and the zoning map. In general, as you know, smart growth requires that on or before January 1st, 2010, all municipalities who participate in planning, development, and zoning activities shall prepare, adopt, and maintain a comprehensive plan, and that comprehensive plan needs to be the cornerstone for all land use decisions in the village, and that all related ordinances need to be consistent with that comprehensive plan by January 1st of 2010. As you know, the comprehensive plan update is currently underway with Kenosha County. It's a 3-year process. We're about a year or so into the process. The plan serves as the master plan for the village. As a result of reevaluating our institutional district regulations, the land use plan map, which is our guide for development, does require that we do make some changes not only to the district, but the zoning map itself. The first item then that we looked at is the comprehensive land use plan amendments. And what we did was we identified, in looking at the comprehensive plan, some of the corrections that needed to be made to the map from 1996. The first is to change the governmental and institutional designation, which is shown on the land use plan. It's located at the northwest corner of Cooper Road and 85th Street. It's currently shown as the governmental or blue designation. It should have been placed into the upper medium density residential designation. The second change was to change the upper medium density residential designation for that access road that leads into the village's detention basin just south of 85th Street at approximately 43rd Avenue, and that is also shown on the slide. The next was to change the industrial designation that is shown on the land use plan that is located south of 116th Street and west of the CP Railway to the governmental and institutional designation, and this is to reflect the We Energies utility substation. Another change on this map is to change the low medium density residential land use designation that's located south of Springbrook Road and west of Highway 31 to a governmental and institutional designation. This is land that's owned by the village of Pleasant Prairie just south of our compost site. So that covers the comprehensive plan changes related to the institutional district. Then we looked at the zoning text amendments. Section 42126 of the village zoning ordinance related to the I-1 district is proposed to be amended and updated. The definition that we have identified for the institutional district is that it is intended to provide for areas which are under private or public ownership and where the uses in those areas are for public purposes or institutional purposes, whether public or private, and are anticipated to serve the needs of the community. No such district shall be established unless it's in compliance with a duly adopted or amended comprehensive neighborhood or conceptual plan. There were some changes that we also made to the district that related to power and heat generating plants. We wanted to make sure that they were clearly placed into the M2 district where they're shown, but not in an I-1 district. We've also identified that there are some conditional use standards that needed to be modified as related to school auditoriums, gymnasiums, and stadiums. We made a modification to the conditional use standards for veterinary and emergency service offices, and it is now allowed in the I-1 district with a conditional use permit in addition to the B2 district. And then also there was some confusion with respect to conditional use standards for such items as water storage tanks and towers, radio and television transmitting and receiving towers, and microwave relay stations. All of these items are covered elsewhere in the ordinance. They do not need specific approvals. They are covered under the special exceptions provisions of the ordinance. So some of the other zoning map amendments then we looked at to reflect, again, that consistency with the comprehensive plan. The first area was at the intersection primarily of Dabbs Farm Drive, Highway 31, just south of 93rd Street. In 2007, the Plan Commission approved a comprehensive plan change